Hey there and welcome back to Elden Ring. We are going to clear out the stranded graveyard before we really look into leaving the peninsula, because there is some interesting stuff in this place. And actually, if we listen, hold on. There's like screaming and stuff, which if you end up going above the ground up in this area, there's a big pit where they have a bunch of tarnished that are basically crucified. So let's unseal it and then we'll start taking a look around. Now this dungeon immediately is way different from the other ones we've done, the other catacombs and root dungeons, because it's massive. Like look, it's a huge hallway as opposed to the other ones, which are these close, tight catacombs. And then there are these banners where it looks like it has some kind of hawk-like figure, which kind of makes sense because this is in Stormvale, and the ancient symbol of Stormvale is the hawk. And then there's also these statues way over there. We've seen some of those before, I believe. We saw them in the lower sections of Stormvale. And then we've got nasty, nasty poison. So we're going to dip on out of this as fast as possible. And we hear a noise, and what do we see? A giant chariot. Well, I say chariot. It's a stone contraption chariot. We'll take a look at it as it comes back up, because it had like a figure on there, 2 horses, some spike things off to the side. It also looked like it was covered in roots. Yes, he's got covered in vines and roots. And that the shield thing reminded me of the tree sentinel that we fought, you know, right outside of good old this place right here, right? When we went outside the stranded graveyard, there was a big tree sentinel that was guarding the place. And that's what that looks like to me. And it also makes sense because guess what? He had a big old horse as well. Oh, I maybe made a mistake. I can make it. I can make it. I can make it. And, I mean, look, it just keeps going. And all in the sides there, look, those are, I want to say, coffins, right? I mean, that's what that kind of looks like to me. Yeah, I mean, look, they're all there. And they've all got that same white flame going on that we've seen all through the other catacomb sections with the skeletons. Maybe I can make it to the next one. Oh, I made a mistake. Okay, well, in the past, that would have one-shot you, and that would have been it. We need to be very careful here. All right. It's the exile soldiers. Now, they have the vines and root things on them. Is that because they're cursed in death, or is it just because it's literally the assets that are being reused? And oh my goodness, look at that dude there. There's a guy there. Can't get a good look at him. He looks... See the weapon. It's hard to see from this angle, but he looks like those big Banished Knights, the elite ones that we've seen before. So there is a way to get up there. There's an item, so we can definitely go that way. Now here's what we're going to do. As that one goes up and past us, we can just drop down. And then we continue on. Now this is our first time fighting any kind of ghost guys, because we fought skeletons and the like, but we've not fought ghosts. Item there, and if we look, there's something down that way, but we're going to keep pushing on down along this path. We have to be careful because that chariot will probably be showing up here any moment now. Maybe. This goes way down there. Oh, we can make it, we can make it, we can make it. More soldiers. Got him. Where's it at? I think it's slowly catching up to us. I want this item. Is this an opening? Oh, opening's way up there. Lots of soldiers. We're just gonna block everything, and yeah, let the chariot do the work for us. All right, so we made it all the way down, and it looks like this is where there's a boss, I guess. So all the way down the path, it keeps charging its way up and down. We did see that there was another path as well, but for now, I guess we're just gonna fight this thing and see what we've got, right? We fought one of these before. Ulcerated Tree Spirit. So it's the same thing we fought under Stormvale. And I mean, it got the same look to it, right? Kind of a barkish skin, but it's like sort of meshed up with like meat. You can see all the like branches and stuff like sprouting from it. Like it is part of a tree, which matches with the name because it's a tree spirit. But for something that's a spirit, it is very physical. Now, my immediate thought is, with the tree burials, like look right above us. There's these like bundles of meat of some kind, and it looks a lot like what we've seen in other catacombs with like the Erdtree kind of burial thing, where they're talking about the proper death. At least that's what the ghost was saying, right? And if this does tie in, like, you know, if we're talking it's a tree spirit, what kind of tree is it? It's gonna have to be the Erdtree or the Great Tree. Though, really, we would say it's just the Erdtree because that's where they're interested in them kind of dying and rejoining. So that would then explain why it has this gold look to it and yellow gold flames. Come on, full charge. Oh, I was hoping to hit him and like stagger him. Let's use our flask, and that'll give us some strength as well. He's gonna flail around a little bit more. Come on. Alright, here comes some more gold flames. Big charge attack. Maybe big charge attack. Oh my lord. If I could hit him, that'd be really great. Just gonna get way away from there. I wonder if he has ties with dragons, because... Oh, that is not the move I thought I had on. Because what else kind of breathes fire like that? Dragons, right? So... I mean, I guess it is kind of a serpentine dragon-y look, right? I would really like to not lose. Oh, of course. Man. There we go. Huh. But yeah, right, so there's all that, like, meat to him. Banished Knight, Oleg, and a golden seed. Which we got a golden seed from the other one, but we didn't get an ash, a spirit summon. But it would make sense that we get a spirit summon if it's down at, like, a place that you bury him. And I mean, look at all the roots. Like, this place has way more of a root thing going on than the other place, and it's got a lot more bodies collected on the roots. So I wonder, right? Ulcerated. Ulcerating is, like, an ulcer is a big sore nastiness, right? And I mean, this one just has so many more bodies too. And look how they're tied into that, like, casket, that coffin tomb. So I think that you maybe had this tree spirit, right? And it was very tree-like before, but with all these bodies that keep getting dumped down onto it, that it's like basically eating up, I wonder if that has like corrupted it somehow, giving it that meaty look. Because it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look good at all. But then also, I mean, maybe part of why it's wrong is, you know, it's a tree spirit. What is it a tree spirit of? Like the Erdtree. But is something wrong with the Erdtree? Because what happened with the Deathroot stuff? It supposedly spread about the lands between through the roots of the Great Tree. So, that's really unfortunate. So, if it spread through the lands between through the Great Tree, which is tied to the Erdtree, and these things are maybe spirits, some kind of spirit tree things from the Erdtree, and it got sick because of stuff, then maybe that explains what's wrong with it. Maybe it's that way because there is something wrong with the Erdtree. We made it back down to one of the like second lowery levels where there was that little bridge. We saw that there was another path or a section right here, so we're gonna jump down because that chariot is gonna get us a cart. And what do we got? Oh, and now we've got imps, which one of the, you know, some of the catacombs, this is what they have. They don't have skeletons, they don't have ghosts, they've got these imps. And we know they're like guardians of sorts, because I mean, one, they're trying to keep us out. And then one of the bosses was like a watchdog, right? So they are meant to guard, to watch. Oh, we got an imp head wolf from these guys, so they're imps. I mean, when we know that because we got the fanged imp stuff, you know, seen some of the other items. A head covering made from the largely unaltered head of an impish golem. Resembling a wolf, it holds trace amount of lupine endurance, and it does increase our endurance, so that helps us out with our equipment load and stamina, which is nice. Alright, so we're coming up into this large room, and there's a big statue ahead, a small narrow bridge. Take a look at it, and we've seen those statues around before, right underneath Stormveil, all lining the way. All of them have the hands broken off, but it seems to be some kind of maiden-y woman with a hood about. And look up there. Nasty, nasty spider. Setting up to ambush us. But as we go, it says, be wary of up. And it's like, yeah, we saw that. There is something up there. Could this be down? And there is. There's another path down there. Okay. But there is an item over there, and we're interested in it. Well, we've got the crossbow. We can shoot that guy. So maybe we'll get him over here. Now, we fought some of them before, right? Well, we fought one in Stormveil Castle. And we fairly handily beat it. I really don't want to fight it on the bridge, though, because, like, yeah, there seems to be some paths down there, but there seems to be multiple layers, you know. Definitely a way for us to easily roll off and die. Come on. You know what's interesting about them is the shield and stuff is like all this like fine gold, which I mean, I think makes sense when you consider that it's some kind of like a scion, something important, right? If it ties in with Godric and the golden lineage, like that it would have gold. But then also a lot of the Whipperney also has like old traces of gold. I was really hoping that would do more. I really don't want to lose this thing. Fully charged R2. Ooh, that still got behind my guard. Ooh, it's not going well for me. Oh, Jesus. All right. Come on. One more. Nice. Now we get that critical hit for some health, and we finish him off. Oh, it's like peacock feathers on there. And that head had a little crown on it. Definitely ties in with an idea of, like, nobility, right? Alright, so we should be able to go get our item now. Erdtree's favor. And there's another one. I knew there was another one. That's why I was playing it so cautious. Yeah. Erdtree's favor. And it's not like some big old altar. That was an awful throw. Come on, dude. Let's go. Come on. Not on the bridge, though. We're going to drink this now to top us off and increase our strength. Jump attack. Boom. Ooh, that had a really big wind-up. Wonder if I can... Haha. Oh, it's a bummer. Get back. I don't like that at all. Our flask needs to get upgraded. It's not healing us nearly enough right now. Oh, I thought I could roll in time. Oh, we've got one flask left. One more. Oh, it's scary. Fully charged. Oh, dude, that sucks. Oh, but we can read what the item does at least. A talisman depicting a special blessing of the Erdtree. It slightly raises maximum HP, stamina, and equip load. It is said that when the age of the Erdtree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon their recipients by Queen America herself. Okay. And then on the, on the talisman itself, it is a woman with a vase, a jar of sorts pouring out a liquid, a blessing, I guess. And there's statues. We saw them in Stormveil. There was a statue of a woman pouring something out. So maybe there are statues of America bestowing blessings. And that jar, I'd say jar, vase, maybe it matches up with the physic, a relic of the physic chemist, priest of the Erdtree. But like this one specifically says, modeled after a golden holy chalice. So that shape and stuff really does seem to mirror that one a bit, right? It's got that same general shape to it. So maybe that is a sacred chalice. And what are they for? They're for these blessings, right? This had a tier of blessing, and we've seen them get collected at the basin of minor Erdtrees and stuff. So she uses them, uses that holy chalice to bestow these various blessings. Absolutely wrecking him this time, dude. I haven't even been touched yet. I did use my Boldikin's Blessing too, which I guess I did not honestly need because he didn't touch me at all. But it did give me more max HP. Oh, look at all these bodies. These are not like skeletal bodies. These are like withered, still like fleshy remains. I can't see them now, of course. I wish my torch didn't get put away when I had this. Eventually I'll get an item that'll help with that, but not quite yet for us. And yeah, if we go down here, like, look, it's just a bloody, watery mess. And I mean, like we were saying when we fought that ulcerated tree spirit, I mean, yeah, if it was basically living in this, or like basically drinking from this, you know, if it's a tree spirit, it would get sick and nasty, right? All right, we took this elevator way up, and what do we see? Oh, there's the sink, but we're not. Remember, we saw there was that figure there, and look, there he is. We have made it. Stone sword key. So there's like a ghost of a Banished Knight. Which, I mean, there's all these penal guys, so like, I guess it makes sense that you would have another one. Like, oh, I'm gonna get messed up. Oh, I'm alive. Drink. No, thank you. Oh, it's so early. The delay. I'm doing this so awful. Like, I'm overthinking it so hard, it's not even funny. Like, there's no reason for me to be doing stupid things. But we got him. Nice. Alright, and there's a chariot. But look right there. There's these giant pots. Now, we've seen pots before. What are they? They're living jars of some kind. But these, if you go ahead and you equip a ranged weapon. Let's see here. Oh, didn't quite get it. Oh, I missed. Oh, I see it explodes. And blue fire. Blue fire is different. Get him, get him, get him. Yeah. Broke the chariot. Erdtree great bow and great arrows. A great bow featuring Erdtree styling. In times of old, when faith and battle went hand in hand, this weapon was created in tandem with a golden great arrow. It scales all arrow damage with faith, revealing its true worth when used with holy infused arrows. And I mean, there was all the stuff about like the armies of the Erdtree, like when we see when we had that one sword monument, right? Because it was you see Godfrey's armies or something, and they were undefeated, unbowed. So there seemed to be a big tie-in between battling and faith in the Erdtree. Now we're down here. Now there's something I noticed, right? We just came down this path. This was a way we originally went down. There was a drop down where we fought the grafted scion things, and we got the Erdtree's blessing, and then we got here and we immediately hooked a left and kept going down. We fought the ulcerated tree spirit. But there is another path right here that goes up that we didn't do before. So we're gonna check that out. And there's another ghostly Banished Knight. And which reminds me, I actually did not read the description on the spirit summons we got for the ulcerated tree spirit because I was too busy thinking about the ulcerated tree spirit. So that other dude had a halberd. This dude has a sword and shield, which we fought a dude like this before with a sword and shield, and he actually did a fire spell. That halberd dude did all the wind ones. This guy does not. At least he didn't do any there, but I'm pretty sure he does. He dropped an item for us. a Dragon Communion Seal, Dragon Wound Grease. Huh. Let's go through these last couple items. So we know seals are for casting spells because we got the Two-Finger Seal, the Godslayer Seal, and then Dragon Communion Seal. Formless Drakeblood Seal was a Dragon Communion crest. Enhances Dragon Communion incantations. The sacrificial devouring of the heart gives power. Indeed, Dragon Communion is too primal in nature for the term incantation to be appropriate. The seal scales incantation was one's arcane attribute. So we get these Dragon Communion incantations when we devour the hearts. We found an altar that does that, with the dragon body by it, a big weird flame thing, which maybe matches up. Maybe that's what that is some kind of Dragon Communion Seal thing, a formless Drakeblood thing, a Drakeblood flame something, right? But it scales incantations with one's arcane attribute. So maybe arcane has something to do with like primal natures or something. And it dropped from one of those knights. But what did one of those knights do when we fought him in Stormvale? He shot fire at us. Which, what can dragons do? Shoot fire. So maybe they somehow tie in with dragons, especially when you consider that the ones that don't have the red hood, there are dragons on their helmets. So there is some kind of tie in there between the Banished Knights and dragon stuff. But we also got the Dragon Wound Grease, which we'll look at, and then we'll take a look at that spirit I got. It's a solidified grease made from a mixture of gravel stones, which gravel stones we saw when we had that heart. It's like growing. It has a bunch of gravel stones on it. It coats the armament, granting anti-dragon effects, so that makes sense if they're hunting dragons and devouring their hearts for power. When the dragons were born from their ancient kin, they lost their stone scales, which can now be used to cause them mortal harm. So the dragon were born from some sort of ancient kin, but they lost the stone scales, and those stone scales can be used to cause them mortal harm. So the dragon's already pretty sturdy and strong, like we fought one. And then if we take these gravel stones, that from like their ancestors, that's like a deadly weakness to them, which is I like that. There's something about that, like poetic or something, right? I kind of like that. And then we've got Banished Knight Oleg, and look at him. He's one of those Banished Knights, right? Banished Knight Oleg. Used to summon Oleg, one of the two knights known as Wings of the Storm. After his banishment, he attracted the notice of the Grace-Given Lord, and later, having slain 100 traitors as the Lord's hand, Oleg earned the hero's honor of Erdtree burial. So we know who the Grace-Given Lord is. That's Morgott, the Grace-Given Lord, the Veiled Monarch of Leyndell. That's the one. So he's one of the demigods. So he was banished, which seemed like the banished people end up roaming the lands. Were they actually banished from somewhere in the lands between or somewhere outside of them? Not really clear. But he got the notice of him, and so he started serving him, and then he slayed 100 traitors. And then he earned the hero's honor of Erdtree burial, which is burial at the roots of the Erdtree. And we saw that. And I mean, that's where we found it. It was like way down where, we fought the boss, and it ties in. So there should be another one, though. He's one of the two knights, which I know where it's at. So we're going to go ahead and hit up the Murkwater Catacombs. I don't think there's really anything to really show you in there as far as like the actual dungeon goes. The one we just went through is way more interesting, but we'll definitely do the boss at least to show you. Oh, look at those statues. See, I don't know if the other ones had statues of the watchdogs in there. I want to get rid of these imps. We will take a look at them. 3 heads. They're all fanged looking. There's a crown, but the crown is not on the head. It's down low. Big old strange ears. The one we fought, though, I don't think had 3 heads, did it? Like, it was just a singular head with big old ears. It's interesting that that one in the center has 2 horns and those have the singular horn. And then it's got like a cape thing, some kind of bracelet around its arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers, claws, beast. Beasts, do you think it's the depiction of it has something to tie in with beasts? Because they were supposed to be like really ancient, right? There is something else to see right here. We've seen some kind of like imp statues before, but look at this one. It's got a creepy human head to it. Oops. And that one has another horn, but like bearded sort of face head thing to it as well. And then there's some more of the traditional imps that we've seen. And look how they have wings as well. All right, let's see what the boss is. You know, we've fought a bunch of imps, so it would make sense that this would be another watchdog. Except it's not. A Grave Warden Duelist. Sort of cloak. He's got like a gladiator helmet with big ol' hammers. Right now, he's getting absolutely ruined by this guard counter stuff. But he's got some like coppery looking bands around his arms, you know, little anklets and stuff. Now, if you look on his back, it's all scarred up, which is it from like lashings and like punishments. But there's another thing we saw that has some like scarring on his back, and that was in the image of Godwyn the Golden in the opening cinematic, because he had that like carved, like they were knifing into his back. And on his head there is, I don't know, maybe it's not really something, maybe it's just armor look. Huh. Let's go ahead and take care of him. Ooh. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Let go of me, let go of me. That's alright, we can shield bash him down. Later. Nice. And then we get Banished Knight Ingvill. So the other dude had 2 swords, which we've not fought a Banished Knight with 2 swords. This dude had the polearm. So Banished Knight Ingvill. One of the 2 knights dubbed the Wings of the Storm. Despite his banishment, he rejected the invitation of the grace-given lord, instead keeping watch over a masterless castle for many years, gaining renown as a hero of the fringes. Huh. So there was some masterless castle, and he decided to just keep watch over it. And then he became known as a hero of the fringes. But he still seemed to have earned a burial, like an important burial, because we find him down here, and this is not a castle here. Like, unless it was over here, a masterless castle, until Godric shows up, maybe? Like, maybe it meant that one. Maybe it was talking about a different one. Who knows? Because they seem to have existed after the Shattering, because that's when, you know, Morgott made use of the other dude. So there's some interesting stuff there. I like some of the lore with those ashes. And now, we've seen before with the materials, right? We've got the regular grave glovewort, and then we've got the ghost ones. These are used to strengthen ashes that have kept their renown even after death. And so see how these guys have these like really big like stories to them? These are the ones that have like kept their renown. Now they're also on a different like bracket than the other ashes that we have. So these are the like renowned ashes and spirits. But that's gonna be this video. That, you know, that is our dungeon over there, whatever it's called, the Stranded Graveyard Dungeon. Oh, but look, Fringefolk Hero's Grave. So he was on the fringes, right? He was known as the Fringe Hero of the Fringe Folk or something, right? A hero of the fringes. So the Fringefolk Grave, interesting. So why didn't he end up there? I mean, I guess because he didn't earn the honor of a true Erdtree burial. You know, it's hard to say. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And until the next one, take care.